you guys for coming out. I'll be the master of ceremony for this event. And if everybody could please remove all non-religious headwear for the invitation. And Captain Stan, please come forward and deliver the
Isaiah 40:31. But those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on eagle's wings. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Eternal God, your Spirit leads us on the path of great adventures and challenges that ignite courage and honor and determination. We give you thanks this evening as we bestow on Alex and Nathaniel the rank of Eagle Scout. We are grateful for their desire and accomplishment in obtaining the highest rank in scouting. We also give you thanks for those around them who have kindled this accomplishment. Their parents, family members, counselors, scoutmasters, and mentors. A host of people who believe in them and are also filled with happiness to see them excel. We pray that you would bless Nathaniel and Alex as they receive this award, as they will from now on be held to a higher level of expectation. From this day forward, they are committed to a lifetime of leadership in their homes, in their communities, and as an example to others. We know that they are well trained and prepared to fill the rank of Eagle Scout. As they know you are their source of faith and strength. For all this we pray to you, God of creation. Amen.
All right, at this point, will the Eagle escorts do bring application to the public? All right, Scouts, Scouters, and friends of Scouting, I would like to welcome you to this Eagle Court of Honor. This is an occasion for pride and joy, as well as a time for serious reflection. The Eagle is the highest recognition that Scouting offers to Scouts. It is earned through the advancement program, and only a small percentage of boys who begin in Scouting receive this honor. The wearer of the Eagle Award is the epitome of Scouting's best efforts and beliefs. Tonight, we have the pleasure of seeing both Nathan Miller and Alex Ling complete their Scouting efforts when they join the company of Eagle Scouts. The presentation of the Eagle Scout Award is an important and serious matter. For the Eagle candidate, this is the climax of his Scouting efforts. The attainment of this award is made possible through the assistance of those with the candidate tonight. His Scoutmasters, troop leaders, fellow Scouts, parents, family, friends, and members of the community. Will all Eagle Scouts, past and present, please stand behind the to-be Eagle Scouts. And without further ado, will Howard Link please come to the stand and deliver Alex his Eagle charge.
First of all, I'd like to start by thanking Alex, thanking my parents and my family for scheduling this at a time where so many of us are home from college. It means the world to me, Alex, that you asked me to give your Eagle charge. Good, Jordan. Please raise your right hand. Scout sign. The foremost responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to live with honor. To an Eagle Scout, honor is the foundation of all character. They know that a Scout is trustworthy is the very first point of the Scout law for good reason. An Eagle Scout lives honorably, not only because honor is important to them, but because it is of vital significance to the example they set for other Scouts. Living honorably reflects credit on their home, their church, their troop, and their community. May the white of the Eagle badge remind you that you always live with honor. The second obligation of the Eagle Scout is loyalty. A Scout is true to their family, Scout leaders, friends, school, and nation. Their loyalty to their troop and fellow Scouts makes them pitch in and carry their share of the load. All of these help to build the loyalty, which means devotion to community, to country, to one's own ideals, and to God. Let the blue of the Eagle Scout always inspire your loyalty. The third obligation of the Eagle Scout is to be courageous. Courage has always been a quality by which men measure themselves and others. To a Scout, bravery means not only the courage to face physical danger, but the determination to stand up for what's right. Trusting in God, with faith in their fellow man, they look forward to each day seeking their share of the world's work to do. Let the red in the Eagle badge remind you always of courage. The fourth obligation of the Eagle Scout is to be cheerful. To remain the Eagle Scout, to always wear the smile, the red, the white, and the blue ribbon is attached to the scroll of the second-class Scout Award, which is its ends turned up in a smile. The final responsibility of an Eagle Scout is service. The Eagle Scout extends a helping hand to those who still toil up Scouting's trail, just as others has helped them climb to their eagle. The Scout performance of the Daily Good Turn takes on a new meaning when they enter a more adult life and continue to serve others. The Eagle stands as a protector of the weak and the helpless. They aid and comfort the unfortunate and the oppressed. They uphold the rights of others while defending his own. They will always be prepared to put forward their best. You deserve as much credit for having achieved the Scouting's highest award, but wear your award with humility. Each mindful this Eagle Scout is looked up to as an example. May the Scout oath and the Scout law be your guide for tomorrow and onward. Repeat after me. On my honor, I will do my best.
On my honor, I will do my best.
To do my duty.
To do my duty.
To God and my country.
To God and my country.
To obey the Scout law.
To obey the Scout law.
To help other people at all times.
To help other people at all times.
To keep myself physically strong.
Keep myself physically strong.
Mentally awake.
Mentally awake.
And morally straight.
And morally straight.
Amen. Congratulations.
Thank you, Howard. And little Zachary, please take a stand to deliver the Eagle Charge for Nathan.
Thank you. First, thank you to Nathan for giving me the honor to deliver your charge. I was 18 when I became an Eagle Scout, and Nathan here was just a toddler, not quite 3. So it's been really cool to watch him grow up, and now I'm really honored not only to consider him a fellow Eagle Scout, but also a beloved brother and fine young man. So I will deliver the charge. The Boy Scouts of America constitute one of the most wholesome, uplifting, and significant movements in history, and you, Nathan Miller, are now counted worthy of this highest rank in its membership. All who know you rejoice in your major achievement. Your position, as you well know, is one of great honor and responsibility. Your community, neighbors, family, and friends all look at you a little differently now, expecting you to set the example, especially when the going gets tough. You have assumed a solemn obligation to do your duty to God, to country, to your fellow Scouts, and to all mankind. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to yourself and to your other Scouts. America has many good things to give you and your children after you, but these good things depend on the qualities and character she instills in her citizens. As an Eagle Scout, you are prepared to help America in all that she needs most. She has a great past, and you are here to make her future even greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with a solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only toward the best. Elevate every task you perform and every office you hold to the highest level of service to God and to your fellow man. In this world, we have too many who use their strength and intellect to exploit others for selfish gains. I charge you to be among those who dedicate their skills and ability to the benefit of all mankind. Nathan, be a leader in the ongoing effort to create a more perfect union on the solid foundations of faith in God, love for your family, and devotion to your country and local community. Whatever others may do, I charge you to leave behind a record which every citizen may be proud. Now, Nathan, I ask that you join me in reaffirming your commitment to the Scout Oath as we recite it together. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, and keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Congratulations.
Thank you, Zachary. Now, will Mr. Miller please present the Eagles with their badges?
Okay, Alex, we'll do you first. Why don't you join me up here? So Alex, having now received the Eagle Charge, and accepted, it is my honor to award you with your Eagle Badge. It has been a great pleasure of mine to be your Scoutmaster and now Assistant Scoutmaster over the past years. Alex was always one of our most creative and just a lot of ingenuity. He was always the leader in the troop that when the boys were meeting, we're trying to plan, what we're going to do. He would always have these great ideas. Also, this, yeah, listen, why don't we try to do that? But my best story about Alex is when he overslept for summer camp. A couple of years ago, we were meeting at 5:15 in the morning, and we were trying to get out of the parking lot at 6 o'clock, and Alex never showed. And I've got Daniel texting me, we're calling. Phaedra and Howard were on the West Coast on another trip. Eagle Scout Brian Link was supposed to get him there I didn't know what was up. I didn't know if they had a wreck or what. So, of course, we knew where he lived, so we went by the house on our way out to camp. Drive up in the parking lot. The garage door is open. Like, I don't know if that's good or bad. Walk in, his Foot Locker is there. His boots are on top of his Foot Locker. I'm like, well, they didn't leave, so they didn't have a wreck. Didn't know if I was walking into a carbon monoxide situation. One of my scariest moments as Scoutmaster. So the back door was unlocked, thankfully, so we got in. Daniel knew where Alex's room was. This is, 6 o'clock in the morning, so we're sneaking in the house, open up Alex's door. He's in bed, he's got his back turned. I'm like, I still don't know if he's dead or alive. Go over, I shake him out. He goes, what time is it? All right, Daniel, you get him out of the car. Hope you made it. And so it's my honor to pin this Eagles badge. Okay, well, put those in your pocket. So there's your badge. Here's your patch. You can be sewing on your uniform. Let's do the plaque. All right. So we do have a couple of plaques for you. This first one is actually your official Eagle Scout certificate from the National Scout Office. It says, the Boy Scouts of America is proud to award the rank of Eagle Scout to Alexander Wolfgang Link, Troop 6, Chesapeake, Virginia, in recognition of successful completion of all requirements for Scouting's highest rank. And then the date, May 28th, is the date of your order review. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And then in addition to that, the troop has their own plaque. with your name, Troop 6, and the date.
Thank you very much.
Good, there's your legal record. And then if, Adrian Howard was one of the stuff here, okay? We have a pin here, this is for your mom. Pin that on her.
Was this an Eagle Scout? Yeah.
I think you're almost more decorated than I are.
Mom's
Yeah.
on the bottom of her bed. Congratulations. Now, so you also have in your kit a mentor pin, which you can give to whomever you wish, that you wish to honor being one of your mentors. You can do that tonight or at a later date, that's up to you. Very much. All right, Nathaniel, let's do the same thing. All right. All right, Nathaniel, having accepted the Eagle charge, it is my honor to pin on you the Eagle badge. All right, there's your Eagle badge as well. And we have in your kit, this is your Eagle Scout card. Whichever one, you're now a card carrying Eagle Scout. You have a certificate just like Alex. The Boy Scouts of America is proud to award the rank of Eagle Scout to Nathaniel Jackson Miller, Troop 6, Chesapeake, Virginia, in recognition of successful completion of all requirements for Scouting's highest rank, dated August 14th, 2024. After your 18th birthday. But you may. And we have a true plaque for you as well. And if Michelle, would you this is for your mom. This was for your dad. working as well. So, and I'll say my remarks too. Congratulations.
All right. Now I call Mr. and Mrs. Links to stand and give their parents' remarks.
Good evening, everybody. I promised Alex I'd be brief, and I know he'll hold me to it. Friends of Scouting. That's a great term because it describes us all. We are friends and family, we're acquaintances in some cases, but we all believe that Scouting and the learning and leadership opportunities it provides is a worthwhile and noble endeavor. We're all here today because of Scouting. Today in particular, we're celebrating the accomplishments of Alex and Nathan. If you take a few moments to watch the slideshow, you will see that these two friends have been inseparable for years, helping each other, encouraging each other, and enjoying themselves along the way. It's very fitting that we celebrate the achievement of Eagle Rank together today. My words of wisdom are to you, Alex and Nathan. Your journey through the ranks of Scouting have prepared you for life in ways you may not realize or understand at this point. As I reflect on what your journey has been, I frequently realize that the challenges of leadership and problem solving, working together for a common good, are all lessons I learned much later in life, and certainly when I wasn't a young person like you two are. Scouting is a cleverly disguised leadership laboratory filled with skill-building exercises that will serve you well into your adult lives. These experiences are hidden in and among the fun things that Scouts do and learn, whether you're trekking the Appalachian Trail, setting up camp, playing gaga ball, or teaching a first year his knots. You are building skills and experiences that will reflect later and that will serve you well in life. Today is the acknowledgement of your achievements as Eagle Scouts, but revelation of all that means will become apparent to you in the decades to come. I want to encourage you to take what you've learned in Scouting and apply it to everything you do in life. Have the courage to step forward and right or wrong. Be friendly and courteous and kind in all you do. Demonstrate trustworthiness, obedience, and reverence in your interactions with others. And doing a daily good turn is a wonderful thing too. Completing your Eagle project and attaining Eagle rank is merely the highest peak you've climbed so far. There's a mountain range ahead with more challenging climbs and adventures, and Scouting has prepared you for those. Before I turn the mic over, let me add my voice in thanking all the adults who make Scouting possible. They give up vacation time, weekends, late evenings, and probably so much more than I know, all for the love of Scouting and to give so many young men this priceless experience of growth. I know each of them would humbly say they do it for the love of Scouting, and I certainly appreciate that they do. They are the truest friends of Scouting. To the Eagles, I admire what you do and what you've accomplished from my perspective as a non-Scout. My advice is to keep Scouting strong and stay involved. Give back to Scouting as it's given to you. Be an adult leader and step forward. There's a young Cub Scout wannabe who's depending on it in your future. And with that, fellow friends of Scouting, let me say thanks again for all the Scout leaders who selflessly give of themselves for the betterment of Scouting, and congratulations, of course, to the newest Eagles. You've worked very hard for this accomplishment. Alex, your mother, and I are very proud of you and the man you've become and all the hard work you put into Scouting. Congratulations. You deserve this day and the pride it brings you. We love you very much.
Thank you. I now call Alex to have his Eagle moments.
Oh, man. Here I come. Honestly, I'm kind of starting to think wasn't going to happen. It's sort of been after our, what are they called? The Board review, thank you. We're going to do after the board review, which is not very common. Partially to the fact that we got it very late, but we did both go to Eagle Scout. But before anything else, I would like to thank my parents and Nathan's parents for putting this all together. I mean, seriously, I know Nathan and I each had like specific people we wanted at our ceremonies, and they're like, hey, I'm into a joint ceremony, which I don't think Truth's ever done before. Yeah, so we're like, hey, let's do a joint ceremony, which I know did not leave a lot of wiggle room for you guys. So once again, I couldn't have asked for a better crowd or location. So thank you so much for putting this together for us tonight. In addition to that, there are a few people I would like to extend a very special thanks towards for playing a vital role in my scouting trip. Starting off, I would like to thank my brother, because without him, I'm not actually sure I would have pursued scouting at all. I mean, when I crossed over from Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts, the very first troop that we did was the Guns and Grilling trip, which is like, come on, barbecuing meat, firing guns. That just sounds like awesome. It sounds like a great trip. And so I thought, it started to derail before we even arrived to the campsite. It started to downpour on the trip there, on the drive up, which of course led to traffic and cars starting to pile up. So by the time we actually got to the campsite, it was well after midnight. So it was dark, and it's still pouring, of course. It didn't let up. So the adults actually grabbed the tarps and held them up to allow the scouts to set up their tents underneath the tarps and then move them out, because that was really the only thing we could do. So keep in mind, I am a Cub Scout, brand new Boy Scout, and on all previous camping trips, as a Cub Scout, I had Dad set up the tent for me, as you guys do. So, kind of a rude awakening. I'm standing there cold and miserable and wet and tired because it's after midnight, and Brian is standing there probably frustratingly yelling commands at me as he's trying to set up our tent as we were tenting together. We did eventually get the tent up, and we moved it out, and we got as comfortable gets, you know, when you're soaked to the bone, including all of your gear. But the next day comes, and it's still drizzling, which means we now need to take turns cooking underneath the one tarp that we had. And then once breakfast was done, and we finally started to move on the day, the rain had flooded and canceled most of the gun shooting. I think the only thing that was left was a single range and a couple air guns. So we had no real firearms at that. And the fact that there's one range means we all just stand in very long lines and wait for our one chance to shoot the kind of sad air guns. We get back to the campsite, and once you know it, the wood grills are also completely full of water, as well as every piece of firewood in probably like a mile radius being completely soaked beyond ignition. So, first camping trip, guns and grilling, there was really kind of neither guns nor grilling. It was very miserable, and at the end of everything, we packed up our wet tent, which all the scouts in this room will appreciate is not easy, packing up a wet tent. We drove home, and when all was said and done, I was done. That sucked. I didn't enjoy it. I'm like, the Cub Scouts was way more fun. I didn't like Boy Scouts. That wasn't enjoyable. I think I'm out. And it was actually Brian that came to my side and was like, come on, seriously, that's it, you're done? You need to give it at least a little bit more than that. And I'm very glad he did, because, I mean, look at me now, right? I've had way more adventures and experiences over the last couple of years that I would not have had anywhere. And sure, there's still the occasional bad camping trip, like Cape Lookout, on the Troop 6 guys here. But honestly, I think it's the negative parts of this trip that not only build character, but highlight the good parts of the better trips. So, thank you very much, Brian, for not giving up on me after I had already given up on myself. Secondly, next special thank we'd like to extend to Nathan. If you didn't see that coming, then I don't think you looked at the program. He joined the troop after I did, and we quickly became friends, and we started to advance the ranks together. We got into leadership opportunities at the same time. I believe we exchanged senior patrol leader and assistant senior patrol leader once. Like, we helped each other there. We were patrol leaders at the same time. Like, really, we were like the same part of scouting at most points. Everything we did was usually to help or support the other person. But one moment that really stands out to me, just spoiled a little bit, I will say, is it was our final summer camp, and I had been unable to go to any of the specific scouting high adventure camps due to COVID years prior, and then the actual summer before there was a different complication that prevented me from going. But this was the last summer camp that we could have gone to before we aged out and were unable to do it. So Nathan and I were like, we gotta do something. I mean, as fun as Powhatan is, it's, merit badge classes, and it's whatever. It's not that fun, right? You think of scouting, it's not sitting in the classroom learning merit badges. It's scouting, it's going on adventures. So we looked at what was available in such short notice, and we found a scuba course at Crater Lake, which is nearby. So we decided we want to do this scuba course, because that sounds like a lot of fun. It's still connected to Powhatan, like we would bus from Powhatan, but it's scuba diving, it's not merit badges. And it actually is a merit badge at that. But in order to do this, we actually needed to take a 12-hour online course to get scuba certified in advance. And at this course, I mean, Nathan can testify, it was pretty bad. I mean, the videos were so slow and boring. I remember Nathan texting us that the tests were unfair. If you got like a single problem wrong, you had to restart the whole unit. And it was just, like, it said 12 hours, but I was more than that, because if you made even a single mistake, you had to do so much more. When it was all said and done though, we passed all the units. And we paid our dues, and we were completely ready. And I was thinking, I'm so glad I passed that scuba course, because this is the last summer. I mean, we managed to lock something in. We're going to do something fun. And then sure enough, the day comes to summer camp, and I slept in my alarm. Just completely there for the weekend. And it's a conspiracy, but if you look, you will find that iOS at one point reported that their alarms didn't go off, and then they fixed it the next update. But that's neither here nor there. Our alarms didn't go off, and I missed it. And I didn't have much time to think about it, obviously, because I was still asleep. But thankfully, Mr. Miller and Nathan noticed I was missing, and they separated from the group in the caravan to drive to my house. And I didn't think I left the garage door open, which was kind of lucky at the end of the day. So they let themselves in, and they went to our room, and I remember they woke me up, and I felt so bad that I not only was willing to sit in the middle seat, which is like a bad thing, right? Not only was I willing to sit in the middle seat, but I just sat there quietly for like the first 20, 30 minutes of the drive because I was too embarrassed. So, thank you so much. I mean, I can't even begin to believe like how much I beat myself up if I missed this, because I didn't wake up once. Like I'm so glad that you guys are there. So I guess this is to say, find yourself some friends that are willing to break into your house. You never know when that might help. Finally, I can't forget to thank my parents, of course. I mean, they're truly like the glue that's held together my scouting trip so far, my scouting journey. I mean, you guys are always supportive or willing to lend a hand, even in my Eagle project. I mean, willing to hop in and help me paint or help me like screw the boards together. I can't thank you guys enough, truly. And we have had our disagreements in our classes, like how it took me 4 years to get the personal fitness merit badge. Which, for reference, was more than half the time I spent in troop 6. It's not a hard merit badge, for everyone asking. I don't know. Or the fact that I didn't get my Eagle project done before I started putting in college applications. Oops, that probably would have helped. Either way, you guys never forced me one way or another, which I really appreciate. I mean, it was never, you're doing this because we say so. It's, we're doing this because you want to. And you guys, you really let me do with scouting what I want to do with scouting. I think that just gave me a level of sufficiency that would have been hard to find elsewhere. And I really appreciate you guys for that. That, and if I didn't get Eagle, I think Brian would have held it over my head until the end of time. So that was another big motivator, for sure. But all this is saying, thank you so much. I think Boy Scouts has been genuinely life-changing. I think I've been doing it for most of my life. So you guys inspire me every day to do my best. And if I ever have kids, I will be pushing them to join Scouts, because I can't imagine if I didn't do Scouts. So I think I can thank you guys enough. I love you guys.
Thank you, Alex. Now I invite Mr. and Mrs. Miller up to give their parent remarks.
All right. Well, Nathaniel, I'll be real brief.
I would have like a great speech prepared, I just
congratulations, Nathaniel. Your mother and I are very proud of you. I think I remember your first camping trip was the AT in the fall. It was in the fall of 2018. Mr. Schools was your first scoutmaster. I just remember that we had the Dickens at the time finding a pack that would fit you. Because you're so small and so skinny, but you needed a backpack to actually carry your stuff. But we found one, and I was a little bit worried. I didn't know how you were going to handle that trip. We had done a lot of family camping over the years, but we really hadn't done any backpacking. But you did great. You seemed to have a great time, and then we were off and running. A short time later, I was asked to be the scoutmaster, which made you the son of the scoutmaster. And being the son of the scoutmaster, your experience was a little bit different. So you always had to be there early. You always had to stay late. Had to help me carry things up and down to the scout meeting on innumerable occasions. You would help me back the trailer back into the church when we were done with it. You might have learned a few new words. But you never complained about that. So I made kind of a conscious decision when I became the scoutmaster to be as hands-off as possible on your advancement. Just didn't want people to say that you got any kind of special treatment. So you were on your own, and you did great. We had to push a little bit towards the end, just to make sure we got over the finish line, but we did. And for those gentlemen at the back table back there, those are the guys that I really want to thank for helping you along the way and putting their foot where they needed to at times to help you get to the next rank and make sure that you advance. And your mother too. There was a time or two your mother gently reminded me that not only was I the scoutmaster, but I was your father. I hope you enjoyed your time as a scout in Troop 6. Think about all those trips on the AT, the James River, Oregon Cave, Camp Powhatan, T. Brady Saunders, many others. You will remember those fondly, I hope, as you get older. God has given you many gifts that became apparent and were developed through the Scouts. You are wicked smart, and I hope that you will develop your intellect and your ingenuity for good and also in service to others, which is one of the big takeaways that we try to send you guys off with as you leave the scouting program. Your scouting experience was interrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic, but you and some of your fellow scouts in this room, I think Brian was our senior patrol leader when the pandemic hit. But you guys found ways to keep things going in spite of that. Remember the family campouts that we did a couple of times? Had guys camp with their families at home, and I think we did a Zoom scavenger hunt. Ian, you remember that?
Yeah, I wrote it.
And then the Zoom troop meetings, where we all stand up and say the pledge and the scout oaths via Zoom. That was a little bit different. But we made it through. But throughout your life, you will be faced with unforeseen challenges, like the pandemic, and hopefully the things that you've learned as a scout will help you as you face those challenges. I know they will. So tonight we rejoice in your achievement. Great job getting things done. You're off to a great start at Virginia Tech this last semester. We are very proud of you and look forward to seeing what the Lord has in store for you in the days and the years ahead. So great job, Nathaniel. Mom and I love you very much. We're very proud of you.
Not much to add. I definitely just echo and agree with all the praise that your dad has for you. Watching you grow, raising you has just brought me tremendous joy. I have no further charge, just a lot of pride and even more love. Love you very much.
Thank you. Now I will welcome Nathan to have his eagle moment. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Seems like everybody had a full script prepared. I did not, but I know y'all are really itching to get to the food in the back, so I'll try to keep this brief as well. So yeah, first of all, I just want to thank all of you for being here tonight, and especially, again, as Alex said, I wanted to thank his parents and my parents just for putting this whole thing together. I know it was a huge hassle getting the timeline of things, and a lot of things came together last minute. Some of that was on me and Alex's part. We maybe should have gotten the script and invites out a little sooner, but it all worked out, and just thank you all for being here. And yeah, I wanted to thank, specifically for my early years of scouting, I wanted to firstly thank Ian for being my first year patrol leader, and a role model in my early days. For those of you who knew Ian, he had like a full beard at like 14, which made the ROTC program was taking that away from us, but it'll be forever remembered. I'll also always remember the paper bag cooking that Ian introduced us to, which is where you put a bunch of eggs and bacon and just oil and stuff in the bottom of a paper bag, stick a stick through it, and then cook it over a fire. Which, if you think about it, a paper bag may not be the best source.
I made my breakfast, you guys burnt yours.
It worked for others, but no, Ian pushed me through the early stages a lot, and he was a great peer role model for me, so thank you, Ian. And also thank you to Brian, because these two, as my dad mentioned, they stepped up for leadership during the COVID phase, and they did a fantastic job. I became senior patrol leader as well shortly after they did, and looking back, I don't know if I would have been able to put together the same types of programs that they did through COVID, so thank you guys a lot for that. And then towards the adult side, I want to thank all the adults, but especially a couple. I want to thank Mr. Kelly. As my dad said, he was kind of hands-off, so Mr. Kelly kind of stepped in to fill in that Scoutmaster role for me in the early days with my Scoutmaster conferences, and really just kicked my butt, keeping me through and through until I got to first class. So that was a huge help. And then for later on my Eagle project, I wanted to thank a few. I wanted to thank Dr. Hoyt and Dr. Holcomb for being tremendous help in all the paperwork. That's something I never could have done on my own, so thank you all for that. And I want to thank Mr. Brunson for teaching me everything I could ever possibly want to know about woodworking, and then some. Without your help, definitely the project never would have come together. So, huge help. Thank you for letting us use your shop, and it turned out great. So, thank you for that. And then yeah, I wanted to thank Alex. Like he said, we've kind of been buddies throughout this entire thing. A little bit of competition motivation, which if you know me, I'm probably the biggest procrastinator in this room. So that little bit of motivation helped a lot. And then also on top of that, I want to thank my parents especially for being probably the biggest drivers. My dad was my Scoutmaster throughout most of the things, which for me, that was a great experience. I had no complaints of being the Scoutmaster's son. Looked up to you a lot through it all, and it meant a lot to me having my dad be so involved in the troop. And then my mom as well. There's just so much that goes on behind the scenes. Big things, small things. She helped me sew on all the patches on here, and everything. I wouldn't be able to do myself, and also just pushed me every step of the way to make sure that I got things done. I got my project done, I think, like 3 days before I turned 18, so cut it about as close as you could. They made it happen, so thank you for that. And yeah, that's all I have. back to the stage to deliver the benediction. Everybody please rise.
Let us pray. Great Scoutmaster of all scouts, you are the God who has called leaders of people for all that is good and honorable since the dawn of creation. As Alex and Nathan have been prepared to lead, we ask that you would provide them the continued courage, skill, and opportunity to make a difference. As we depart, kindle the flame of scouting in all who have worn this uniform or contributed to make it possible. And maybe we be with you until we meet again, until the day we greet you in that great eternity. Amen.
All right, you guys can be seated. And fellows, just before we wrap it up, we'll give one last joint hand of applause for these two wonderful gentlemen. And that concludes the ceremony.